Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Welcome to the Deen Show, which is a way of life we try to put out there for everyone to see, helping you understand Islam and Muslims. Today, on the Deen Show, we're going to start a special section called Family Matters. And in this section of the Deen Show, we're going to invite you all to come on and to see how Islam tackles these issues on how to raise a child, dealing with different important issues that are facing us living in today's society. Today in particular, we're going to be talking about how to raise a child from A to Z. Now, I by myself probably couldn't give you the best advice, all right? I need the advice myself. So we're bringing on all the way from Houston, a qualified person to help us. Let's bring him on out without further delay. Isam Raja. Alaikum Shaykh, welcome to the Deen Show. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for
How was the flight?
Alhamdulillah.
It's good? Alhamdulillah. Okay, so the people got to see a little bit about where you studied and your credentials, and you have the ability to help us because we need some advice. How, for someone who's expecting a child, planning to have a child, inshallah, God willing, what is the best way? We want to know from A to Z, even before the child comes into this world, what preparations should somebody make?
Well, this is a long issue, and it is very important also.
Very important.
You could talk about it for 10 minutes, and you could talk about it for days.
We'll talk about it for 20 minutes. How's that?
Okay, well, I'll try to do my best, inshallah.
Okay.
And actually, I believe you hit on the chord when you said before marriage, because that's exactly when the preparation for raising the child starts. The Prophet ﷺ said, تَخَيَّرُوا لِنُطَفِكُمْ. Choose for the water that you will implant in the womb of your wives. This means first you have to choose a righteous wife, a righteous woman.
Righteous woman.
That's the beginning. You don't wait until you have a woman, you're married, and she gets pregnant and you have a baby, and then you say, oh, how I will raise my child.
Define for us, what's a righteous woman? What do you mean when you say a righteous woman?
The Prophet ﷺ, he himself mentioned that the one that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, her God, she has a good character, she obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she obeys her husband. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that usually women are married for four major things. Either because of her family lineage, or because of her money, she's rich, or because she's beautiful, or because she has the religion. And the Prophet ﷺ told us to look for the religion in particular. That does not mean we don't look for other things. We look for them, but they are not the main issue.
Gotcha. So a good pious woman.
The pious woman, and the pious woman is not only the woman that prays and fasts and gives in charity. The pious woman is the woman that has a good character.
Gotcha.
She listens, she obeys, she doesn't raise her voice. She deals with people in a nice and gentle way. Because unfortunately many times, not only for women but even for men, they think that the good person is the one who prays more. And that's not the issue. Ibadah itself is not about quantity, it is about quality.
Quality.
Yeah, so from the beginning you need to choose a righteous wife. And there was a famous incident in the time of Umar radiallahu anh, the second Khalifa of Islam. A man came to him complaining about his son. His son was rebellious, undutiful. Every time he disobeys his father. And this father was almost fed up. So he came to Umar radiallahu anh and he told him, you need to find a solution for me. So Umar radiallahu anh called on the son and he told him, why you are not good to your father? He said, okay, my father has rights, but don't I have rights also upon my father? Umar radiallahu anh said, yes, you have. So the son told him, what are my rights upon my father? And this is the issue. Many times we remember only what our children should do to us. We forget what we should do to our children. So the man, Umar radiallahu anh, told the son that he should have chosen a righteous wife, which will be your mother. He should have chosen a good name for you. He should have educated you. So the boy told him, oh Umar, the commander faithful, my father did nothing of this. So Umar turned to the man and he told him, you were not dutiful to your son before he is undutiful to you. So again, this is the first step. You choose the righteous wife. And another incident also, a man, which is Ibrahim ibn Adham. He was one of the pious predecessors. One man came to him and he told him, I want you to guide me, just like now, the interview that we're having.
Yeah.
How can I raise my child? I have a child, he's already born. He's 4 months old.
Yes.
What did Ibrahim ibn Adham tell him?
The child was how many? 4 months?
4 months.
4 months.
4 months, baby. Ibrahim ibn Adham told him, you know, it is too late now.
Too late?
4 months. He told him it is too late. If you were sincere, if you were serious about raising the child, you should have come to me before you married your wife and asked me about the correct wife or the suitable wife that I should choose. So here is where we start. And that's really a problem nowadays. Many people, some of them come to me, teenagers or in the 20s, sisters, they come to me and they say, my mother won't allow for me to marry this righteous guy. Why? Just because he's not a doctor or an engineer.
Looking more for titles now instead of...
For this engineer doctor thing, for money, that's okay. You look for this, but look for the religion. What's the use if he has a degree, if he has lots of money and he doesn't pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he's not pious? So this is a real problem. That's where we have to start. That's the beginning.
Having a good spouse, man or woman, making sure that you're marrying a righteous man or woman, both.
Exactly. Then, during the pregnancy also. Now, recently, scientifically, the scientists proved that the baby, the fetus in the womb, is affected by the sounds he hears.
Yeah?
He can recognize the voice of his mother. And unfortunately, some people, they say, you need to play music for him so he calms down. It's proven. So why don't we play Quran? We hear the biography of many scholars that they memorized the Quran when they were 7 years old. How do you think this happened? Because their parents worked on this. It's in the genetics. How could that happen again?
So would this be a good idea to take some headphones, possibly, and put them on the
You don't need to.
Or you
as long as you hear it, the baby will hear it.
Yeah.
Just keep it playing. The same thing with the kids also. Many people also complain that I want my kid to sit and memorize the Quran. Well, I ask, how old is he or she? 5, 6 years. He needs to play. Let them play. Play the Quran.
While they're playing.
While they are playing in a high position where they cannot reach it, on the shelf. So subconsciously, they will memorize. That's what the media now do with you. They tell you that this product, this drink is good for you. They are not talking to your conscious mind. They are talking to your subconscious mind. They repeat it again and again and again, and they attach it to something good. So unconsciously, you come and want to drink whenever you want to feel good. So why don't we do it with the Quran?
So we got step 1, choosing a righteous spouse.
Exactly.
And now, even before the child comes out, letting the child hear the Quran, let him hear the Creator of the heavens and earth, His words, which is the Quran.
Yeah.
And
the wife herself, the mother to be for this baby, has to be also righteous. Nowadays, when a woman is pregnant, the doctor would tell her, don't smoke, it will affect the baby. Don't drink, don't eat this, stop doing this, don't exhaust yourself with many things. And the same thing, you have a baby, you are prepared to be a mother. So prepare him for righteousness. Why we wait until the baby is born and then we call the adhan and the iqamah, which is good. But start before this. So the wife has to increase her ibadah also. So the kid would come, the baby, with this atmosphere, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing for the husband, for the father. Now, you want your son to be righteous. What about you? You want him to memorize the Quran. What about you? The Prophet ﷺ in his dua, he said, Allahumma matti'ni bisam'i wa basari wa quwwati. Oh Allah, let me enjoy my strength, my hearing, my vision. وَاجْعَلْهُ الْوَارِثَ مِنِّي. And let this, what will be inherited to my children. So you want them to be good, plant this seed. You don't want them to be good while you are doing something else.
Is there any dua, supplications that you can do also before you get or after you get married to Allah, God Almighty, for you to have a righteous child, or even before you have relations with your wife?
Of course. Again, from the first moment you marry the woman, you pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you that which is good from her.
There's special dua, supplications that the last and final messenger taught us.
Yeah, Allahumma inni as'aluka min khayriha wa khayri ma jubilat alayh.
Can you translate this?
Oh Allah, I ask you of the goodness of her and the goodness that she is used to do. And I seek refuge with you from the evil that she has, if she has, and the evil that she is used to do. That's from day one, from the first night that you are with your wife.
So we have supplications now.
This is one thing. Then, when there is an intimate relation, look at the greatness of Islam. You don't only fulfill your desire, but you get reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you protect your child. Once you want to have intimate relation, there is a dua also. The Prophet ﷺ taught us to say, Bismillah, in the name of Allah. Allahumma jannibna shaitan. Oh Allah, avoid us, avail the shaitan from us. وَجَنِّبِ الشَّيْطَانَ مَا رَزَقْتَنَا. And if there is a child to be born, protect him from the shaitan.
Yeah.
The Prophet ﷺ
So this is before relations.
This is before the intimate relation. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you say this dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that there will be a child born, the shaitan won't harm him. So he will be protected. Once the baby is born, now we have in the issue of bringing up children, raising them up, we have another issue with their physical problems, that they have a problem with their health, they have a problem, his hand is broken. Also, again, we have the aqiqah, to slaughter a sheep for the protection.
So just to rewind real quick, so we covered choosing a righteous spouse, dua, supplications, and listening to the Quran while even the baby's in the mother's womb.
Yeah.
And now the baby's born. We'll take it. We'll continue from there. The baby's born. You give. The baby gets delivered, comes out into the world now from the womb. What's the first thing you do from there?
You call the adhan and the iqamah.
You call the adhan.
The adhan on the right.
In the right ear, you call the adhan.
And the
as soon as the baby comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so you say, if they want to take it, say no, give it a baby. And should the father hold it? Should the mother hold it? Who should hold the baby? Both?
The father.
The father. So the father. Okay, we're trying to paint a picture now. The baby comes out, crying. You take the baby with all what's on it, and you hold it. Right. Take it away from the doctor, or whoever delivered it.
You don't just snatch it, but
say, can I have my child, please?
Exactly. Because
so you take the baby.
You want him.
These are practical situations that are going to happen.
You want him to hear the first thing.
Yeah.
Of his life, the first moment, the remembrance of Allah.
The call to prayer.
Exactly.
The call, because that's what's going to hook him up with his Creator.
His life is the period between the call for the prayer and the prayer, which is the janazah prayer. That will be the last thing. And then he is buried.
Take the baby and start reciting the adhan in the right ear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not loudly, because you don't want to...
baby go deaf. Yeah. So gently recite the iqamah, then what happens? From there, what are the major steps?
On the seventh day,
the
Prophet ﷺ recommended many sunnahs, giving him the name.
On the seventh day?
Yeah. Maybe you already chose the name, but officially you choose it on the seventh day.
So you have until the seventh day to choose, if you haven't already?
Yeah.
Okay.
You shave the hair, and you give in charity the weight of that hair.
Do you have to do it by the seventh? I heard there was more, you can do it on other, it has to be by the seventh.
Well, this is the sunnah. It's not a mandatory, but this is the sunnah. Again, everything has wisdom behind it. So now you gave in charity on his behalf.
Okay, so shaving the head on the seventh day.
Yeah, let's say his hair.
Is the head still a little soft on top? You know, the baby's head's a little...
It will be fine. I mean, people, it has been done for a long time, and people know how to do it. Of course, you don't want to hurt your baby.
Should the mother or father do it? Or
no, you want someone who's expert.
You
don't want you to do it.
Yeah.
Although I know some people, they did it with the razor, with the shaving machine and everything.
So we're talking about now the aqiqah. What does aqiqah mean?
The aqiqah, this is another thing. Also,
what does it mean?
Recommended on the seventh day.
Yeah.
This is the sheep or the animal that is slaughtered.
Yeah.
For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ recommended it. Two sheep.
Two sheep.
If the baby born was male, boy, and one sheep if the born was female.
Yeah. So we got the shaving of the head, the
Giving him the name.
How about the circumcision?
Circumcision also on the same day.
On the same day?
On the seventh also.
Nowadays, they don't. Can they do it right on the spot when a baby's born nowadays? No.
Actually, the hospital does
They do it right away, don't they? Can they? Or should you wait for the 7th? It doesn't matter.
Well, whatever is healthier, the object is to have the circumcision.
Okay, we're moving along because we don't have too much more time.
Go ahead. Again, it is a long issue, many things.
Yeah, we'll just hit the major points.
Okay.
So now we have the kika, and you invite some people over, and you have a nice little halal fun.
Yeah.
Okay, eat some dessert. This is on the 7th day. Okay, after this, now let's skip over, fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
What goes next? Let's go from that time to the age of 6, 7. What are we doing until then?
Well, again, what do you want from your child? What do you want him to be?
We want this child to grow up a righteous child.
Okay, why? That's the question.
Because we want this child to be one that is obedient to his Creator, that's going to be obedient to his family, and he's going to be play an important role in helping the society, benefiting the society.
Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala related to us in the Quran the story of Maryam with her mother, when her mother was pregnant with her. And she prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant her a righteous son, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to serve in Jerusalem, in Bayt al-Maqdis. When she delivered a baby girl, she was disappointed, thinking that the baby girl would not be able to do that service. But because of her sincere intention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that girl that was born the mother of a prophet, of Isa alayhi salam. So again, it is important for the parents to know what do they want from the child. Many times you ask the parent, what do you want from your child? And he tells you, I want him to become a doctor. Fine, that's a good thing. Why? Because he will make lots of money, or because he will help people getting the medication, or because he will be better servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mother of Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah, he lost his vision when he was in his childhood, when he was very young, and she prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him back the vision. Why? Because she wanted him to serve Islam, not because no one will marry him, no lady will marry him because he's blind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Ibrahim alayhi salam to her when she was dreaming, and she saw him, and he told her, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave back the vision.
So this is the kind of son we want, the righteous son. And these will come second, third, the doctor, these titles later.
Yes, you have to have the intention. And you will struggle a little bit in education, in raising up the child. But you need to know what do you want from your child. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to recite the adhkar for protection. Ayat al-Kursi, whenever your child sleeps. Actually, the Prophet ﷺ told the parents to hold their children a little bit before Maghrib time, because that's the time when the shayateen are spreading out. So you need this time to protect your children. You need to recite for them the adhkar. The Prophet ﷺ used to bring Al-Hasan and Al-Husayn, his grandchildren, and he used to recite the dhikr. أُعِذُكُمَا بِكَلِمَاتِ اللَّهِ التَّامَّةِ. I seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the perfect words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you, from every evil and every poisonous thing. مِن كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ وَهَمَّةٍ وَمِن كُلِّ عَيْنٍ لَامَّةٍ. After he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this dua for them, he told them, your father Ibrahim alayhi salam used to do the same thing with his children. So it is not really a new thing. It is something that was happening long time ago. But maybe we lost track in this world.
So at from that age, constantly making dua, again, more supplication, reciting Quran. You mentioned a couple ayat al-Kursi before.
Yeah, the protection. When they wake up in the morning, do they recite the dua or not?
You said holding them specifically around Maghrib time?
Yeah, before Maghrib time.
Before Maghrib time?
Before Maghrib time, you should keep them, because you don't know what will happen. Maybe the devils, the shayateen will harm them. And you don't want that to happen. Then
until Maghrib is over?
Yeah,
so
until the sunset.
Until the sunset, okay.
Then you are building the personality of the child. What kind of personality you want him to have? Because many times there is a fight, and children fight with each other, with the neighbors, and you want every time your child to beat the other children. Why? You want to build his personality. You want him to be a righteous person. You want him to be a doctor, anything. Studies show that the child or the human being gets most of his education inside his family. Once he's 7 years old, most of his personality is built. So it is actually the responsibility of the father and the mother at that age. Statistics also show that every single parent, usually it is the mother who is raising up the child. If the father is away, over 70% of that child will have a criminal action. Look at prisoners. Studies show that over 70% of those prisoners, they were raised up by the mother only. They did not have a father. So you as a father, your presence in the house helps the child. So one instruction for the parents, to spend some time with children. You look at people, and studies show that the average American father spends weekly, only half an hour almost. You don't spend time